To solve the problem, Witten constructed a spectacular new way of looking at string theory.
Ed announced that he had thought about it, and moreover he had solved it. He was going to tell us the solution to every string theory in every dimension, which was an enormous claim, but coming from Ed it was not so surprising.
The atmosphere was electric because all of a sudden string theory, which had been going through kind of doldrums, was given an incredible boost, a shot in the arm.
Ed Witten gave his famous lecture, and he said a couple of words that got me interested. And for the rest of the lecture, I got hooked up on the first few words that he said and completely missed the point of his lecture.
I remember I had to give the talk after him, and I was kind of embarrassed too.
Ed Witten just blew everybody away.
Ed Witten blew everybody away because he provided a completely new perspective on string theory. From this point of view, we could see that there weren't really 5 different theories. Like reflections in a wall of mirrors, what we thought were 5 theories turned out to be just 5 different ways of looking at the same thing. String theory was unified at last. Witten's work sparked a breakthrough so revolutionary that it was given its own name, M theory, although no one really knows what the M stands for.
What is the M for?
M theory.
M theory.
M theory.
M theory.
M theory.
M theory is a theory.
I don't actually know what the M stands for.
Well, the M has
I've heard many descriptions.
mystery theory, magic theory,
It's the mother theory.
matrix theory.
Monstrous theory. I don't know what Ed meant.
M stands for magic, mystery, or matrix, according to taste.
I suspect that the M is an upside-down W for Witten.
Some cynics have occasionally suggested that M may also stand for murky, because our level of understanding of the theory is in fact so primitive. Maybe I shouldn't have told you that one.
Whatever the name, it was a bombshell. Suddenly, everything was different.
There was a lot of panic, if you like, realizing that big things were happening and all of us not wanting to get left behind in this new revolution of string theory.
After Witten's talk, there was renewed hope that this one theory could be the theory to explain everything in the universe. But there was also a price to pay. Before M theory, strings seemed to operate in a world with 10 dimensions. These included 1 dimension of time, the 3 familiar space dimensions, as well as 6 extra dimensions, curled up so tiny that they're completely invisible.
Well, we think these extra dimensions exist because they come out of the equations of string theory. Strings need to move in more than 3 dimensions. And that was a shock to everybody, but then we learned to live with it.
But M theory would go even further, demanding yet another spatial dimension, bringing the grand total to 11 dimensions.
We know that there have to be 11 dimensions for this theory to make sense. So there must be 11 dimensions. We only see 3 plus 1 of them. How is that possible?
For most of us, it's virtually impossible to picture the extra higher dimensions. I can't. And it's not surprising. Our brains evolved sensing just the 3 spatial dimensions of everyday experience. So, how can we get a feel for them? One way is to go to the movies. We're all familiar with the real world having 3 spatial dimensions. That is, anywhere I go, I can move left, right, back, forth, or up, down. But in the movies, things are a bit different. Even though the characters on a movie screen look three-dimensional, they actually are stuck in just two dimensions. There is no back forth on a movie screen. That's just an optical illusion. To really move in the back fourth dimension, I'd have to step out of the screen. And sometimes moving into a higher dimension can be a useful thing to do. So, dimensions all have to do with the independent directions in which you can move. They're sometimes called degrees of freedom. The more dimensions or degrees of freedom you have, the more you can do. That's right. And if there really are 11 dimensions, then strings can do a lot more too.
People found fairly soon that there were objects that lived in these theories, which weren't just strings, but were larger than that. They actually looked like membranes or surfaces.
The extra dimension Witten added allows a string to stretch into something like a membrane, or a brain for short. A brain could be three-dimensional, or even more. And with enough energy, a brain could grow to an enormous size. Perhaps even as large as a universe. This was a revolution in string theory.
String theory has gotten much more baroque. I mean, now there are not only strings, there are membranes. People go on calling it string theory, but the string theorists are not sure it really is a theory of strings anymore.
The existence of giant membranes and extra dimensions would open up a startling new possibility. That our whole universe is living on a membrane inside a much larger, higher dimensional space. It's almost as if we were living inside a loaf of bread. Our universe might be like a slice of bread, just one slice, in a much larger loaf that physicists sometimes call the bulk. And if these ideas are right, the bulk may have other slices, other universes, that are right next to ours. In effect, parallel universes. Not only would our universe be nothing special, but we could have a lot of neighbors. Some of them could resemble our universe. They might have matter and planets and, who knows, maybe even beings of a sort. Others could certainly be a lot stranger. They might be ruled by completely different laws of physics. Now, all of these other universes would exist within the extra dimensions of M-theory, dimensions that are all around us. Some even say they might be right next to us, less than a millimeter away. But if that's true, why can't I see them or touch them?
If you have a brain living in a higher dimensional space and your particles, your atoms, cannot get off the brain, it's like trying to reach out, but you can't touch anything. It might as well be on the other end of the universe.
And it's a very powerful idea, because if it's right, it means that our whole picture of the universe is clouded by the fact that we're trapped on just a tiny slice of the higher dimensional universe.
It is a powerful idea, especially because it may help solve one of the great mysteries of modern science. It has to do with gravity. It's been more than 300 years since Isaac Newton came up with the universal law of gravity, inspired, as the story goes, by seeing an apple fall from a tree. Today it seems obvious that gravity is a powerful force.
It would seem to most people that gravity is a very